What's up everybody, Fernando here with another episode of Visual Creatures, a podcast about design, graphics, and just different books that I like to check out, or different artists I like to check out for inspiration. So the title of this book is called The Man With Kaleidoscope Eyes, The Art of Alan Aldridge, by Alan Aldridge. So this is a book about Alan Aldridge that he wrote and he created. It's one of my favorite books because it's really psychedelic, and it talks about a lot of the artists that he worked with in the 60s and the 70s. He made a lot of album art or illustrations for books for the Beatles, Pink Floyd, The Who, and he also has a lot of solo projects that he did. But yeah, this book is incredible. If you get a chance to check it out, buy a copy. It's really dope. Let's go into the part where it talks about the Beatles. So right away, you'll see here image of John Lennon, and he was asked to do some work for John Lennon. And you see here he kind of made him look like Superman. So you'll see that Superman reference to the design. You see really dope lettering right here on top. Kind of like a 70s style cursive and like a 3D effect. Really great typography, and then the picture of John Lennon himself right there. Here's like a silly image of him as a penguin, John Lennon penguin. I thought that was pretty funny. Here we have him talking to Paul McCartney, which is really cool. I think this is a story of him meeting Paul McCartney for the first time. He was asked to do some kind of interview with him. So the image right here of Paul McCartney and Alan Aldridge is such a vibe. You see like all the floral patterns on the couch. It looks very 60s. You see coffee cups and cigarettes. Such a vibe, right? And it has like a carved out effect. It looks like it's almost like a carved out design type style. Let's talk about the next design right here that I think is super dope. This is a design he made of Paul McCartney. You see here Paul McCartney like in those psychedelic colors, kind of a rainbow color, but inside of Paul McCartney there's all kinds of little elements like some kind of joker in the middle, someone playing a guitar, a horse with a saxophone, an elephant grabbing onto him. And again, it just goes really into the times, the 60s, kind of very psychedelic, like an LSD trip or a mushroom trip, and very iconic. The next image I want to show you guys is right here. It's called The Beatles Illustrated Lyrics. So Alan Aldridge made a book just of illustrations of the Beatles songs. I haven't seen that book, but I would love to check that book out. And it just has, this was the cover for that book. And you'll see the designs are really sick. The Beatles is the type of font they used. He used like a flower hanging, so he made a font out of the flower. Has kind of an arc. The flowers are hanging from an arc of the vine of the plant. So yeah, just super interesting design, super interesting ways he's making the composition for the art for this. It has John Lennon as like a bird, Paul McCartney as a cat. So Ringo Starr here, just big old nose, and George Harrison kind of as a stoic lion, So it's so fun to check out this type of art, especially if you like the Beatles. And just the descriptions here, it just says that a lot of this type of art was very risky and very sexual, and since it was the 60s, it was a lot about free love, but a lot of it was so risky that they couldn't publish it. So even in the 60s they couldn't publish some of this art. Next couple pages you'll see some body art, which is really dope. I can't really show you this image because it has a naked woman that's painted on with a bunch of little figurines attached to her. It looks almost like a circus, but it's also people in suits walking into the circus and walking into her. So this is a really great design. I can't show you guys because it's a little risky. risque. The next image right here you'll see, which is really dope, you'll see the two eyes and like a fountain coming from like maybe the third eye, and then just a lot of great designs right here. Kind of things are just exploding in the air. Super sick. I love this design. And this is the last thing we're gonna look into for today's episode. This is another really dope design. This is of John Lennon, and it looks like he's floating in the sky, and his head is wide open, and he's walking into his own head somehow, some way. And there's a staircase going into his brain, and he's just chilling and relaxing and enjoying himself. And it seems like maybe that was the meaning behind this, kind of like John Lennon was really into himself, or just really into his own mind or his own world. Maybe this was like a design for that. Colors are really cool. Colors look kind of somber, kind of sad, but at the same time, like his head is illuminated with oranges and yellows, which make it seem to me like that his brain was, you know, very bright, even though around him maybe was a little bit, you know, somber. And then right here, the final two designs that you'll see right here is All You Need Is Love, with a really cool design, like a heart in the background with the sky, the fonts and the writing on a banner right here, and then a bigger font, like 3D with like a gradient and some flowers popping out of it. It's just really, it's so many elements in one design that it's really fun to look at. And then over here, the final one is Revolution, with a bunch of flowers and of course the topography really dope and flowy and going through each other and stuff like that. So really great. That's it for today. I definitely recommend checking this book out. If you want to check it out and you live around here in San Francisco, just let me know. We could look at it together, and I could let you check it out. Definitely recommend. See you guys later.